Greetings, everyone. Stan here. It's time for another episode of Random Encounters Skill Challenge with Stan. So, join me, won't you? Gotta do better for an intro. God, I'm working on it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, everyone who's joining me. I appreciate that. And we are here for another hour of drawing things that I don't know what they are until the dice tell me what they are. Crazy, huh? Yes. So this really is a show about improvisational drawing, and to that end, I really hope that some of you will improvise along with me. Take a few seconds as we're here at the beginning of the show. Grab some paper, grab a pencil or a pen or crayons, grab your favorite electronic drawing implement, and just doodle away with me. If you're drawing the same thing that I am, that's great. If you're drawing something else, that's great too. Let's just have some fun drawing together. So, the name of the show is Random Encounters Sketch Challenge. And for those of you who may not remember, and or maybe new here, what this is all about is I have um, on my iPad here. I'm using an iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, and the app I'm using is Procreate. None of this is sponsored. I'm not getting any payback from anyone for this. I'm using these things because I like them. If you like them, that's great. If you like copier paper a uh, with a ballpoint pen, that's great too. Anyway, so on my iPad right now, I have here. Let me show you. We have some random encounter tables. Now, these come from the world of gaming, where I also come from. In games like Dungeons and Dragons and other role playing games, you will often have random encounter tables. Is in the storyline, you're not sure who you will meet or exactly what will happen, so you put them on, put the most likely possibilities on a table like these, and then you roll dice to figure out what actually happens. And that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to roll dice to decide who and what, and then that's what I'm going to draw. And we'll see how that goes. We've had some pretty interesting pictures come up the last few times that we've done the show. Hopefully, the dice will lead us to something interesting tonight. On the Who side, I'm still sticking to uh, fairly common Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy tropes. Here we've got on our Who list this evening. We've got a dragon, a wizard, a zombie, an adventurer. Now, adventurer is a pretty wide category, so if that comes up, I'm going to come to you guys in the chat room for suggestions for how exactly to interpret that. Mermaid, because this is the month of May, and I don't know how many of you have seen in your uh, social media feeds artists out there, artists of all stripes, doing a mermaid drawing a day in the month of May. Well, I put the mermaid on here so we have a chance of having one of those also. And then number 6 is a goblin. For the what we have, number 1 is a pogo stick, on a pogo stick. Number 2 is in space. Number 3 is a food fight. 4 is singing opera. Number 5 is stand up comic. And 6 is on the subway. And so when we roll the dice, if I rolled, say, a 1 on the Who, we get a dragon. And if I rolled a 5 on the what, it'd be a dragon stand up comic. So, dragon doing stand up comedy. That's what I would draw. We're going to be doing more than one drawing this evening, and that's why I have the bonus board down here. The bonus board is in case we roll the same number more than once, got some other options, and there I'll be a little more loose. It'll be kind of artist choice among what we've got there. So I rolled the 1 for Dragon the first time, and we finish that drawing, we come back and I roll a 1 again, I would get to choose from what's on the bonus board: Batman or Rockstar or Caveman, depending on what I thought went best with our what. Got it? Got it? Everyone good? All right. If you're with me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes in the chats. So, here we go. As I said, we're going to roll dice. And the way I'm going to roll dice is... Oops. I'm going to come here to this die rolling app. And the way I've done this before, just to keep everything clear, and say if I hit the here, the die will roll, and if I hit it again, the die will roll again. So for each time we do it, I'm going to go once, twice, and third time is the number that we will use. Good? Everyone clear? Everyone's got that? All right, so here we go. First drawing. Let's get into this. See if we can't maybe get 4 drawings done tonight. It's maybe a little ambitious, but I like being ambitious. Okay, here we go. What are we going to be drawing first? Or who are we going to be drawing first? And we're going to do it. Here we go. Once, twice, third time's a charm, and it's number 4. So let's come on back here and see that number 4 is it right away. We're going back to the adventurer. Well, don't have a lot of people in the chat yet, which means that you folks who are watching have a good chance here to have your choice selected for how I'm going to interpret that. But in the meanwhile, let's go back and find out what that adventurer is going to be doing. Okay, we're going to go once, twice, third time's a charm, number 6. So let's go back here again. Find out we're going to have an adventurer on the subway. Okay, adventurer on the subway. So that's what we're going to be drawing. But as I say, adventurer is a very broad category. And I put that on because rather than filling this side with elf and dwarf and halfling and all the various types of adventurers, rogues and fighters and all that, I figure just a broad category of adventurer is good. And you guys can help me figure out what specifically. So does anyone have any idea? Put it in the chat if you have a suggestion for what kind of adventurer we should be seeing on the subway. Meanwhile, I'm going to pop down here and I'm going to make sure that I'm set. I'm in the sketch layer on round 1 and I've got my pen set to inking and the color is set to blue, so I'm going to turn off the table so we can't see that anymore. And now we're about ready to get started. And I'm not seeing any suggestions. Let me just double check that this is not, I don't always get the feed through like I should. So I'm just going to come over here and check and see if I have any I can see comments from other people here. Nope, looking about right. Okay, that's where we're at. So I guess it's all up to me. I can live with that. I can take that kind of pressure. All right, so I think that I want to draw a let's start laying in some lines and then we'll figure that out. I'm having I have a pretty good idea of what I want. So we're going to hit the subway, rough layout for a subway car here. Like that. And Well, maybe we'll have a couple of them. One character here. Another character here. Standing. Holding on. Hello, Mark. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We have our first selection for the night is a D&D style adventurer on the subway. I think I'm going to draw two of them, one sitting and one standing. All right. That's a pretty good start. Thank you, Mark says he likes my shirt and that he knows the way to a cartoonist's heart is through his Aloha shirt. All right. So, let's start zooming in here at this little guy here. So I'm on the right layer. Let me lock that layer just to be sure. And we're going to have a gnome. I am a big proponent of gnomes. Gnomes, for those of you who are not wildly steeped in the world of fantasy role playing games, gnomes are a type of creature that causes some split among the fan base as to how useful they are. How appropriate they are. I'm going to change that there. Gnome is going to be reading the Gnome Times. Sitting here on the subway. And let's see. Tough part here is I did want to put pole up, coming over by the door. But of course, this being digital, it's very easy just to erase that a little bit. Okay. And our gnome is noticing that over here a large orcish creature is going to be hanging right over him. If I should give them a, I was going to give him a briefcase, but I think instead I'm going to give him a big axe or a big sword. He's just hanging out there. You know, Subway's a crowded place. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if how many of you have been on the subway in New York, but there are times when you're just minding your own business and you look up and you realize that there's someone that you don't really feel so safe around looming right over you. But, you know, the city's full of all kinds of people. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe that's just your problem. This this orcish looking guy isn't causing any problems. He's just standing there with his sword. Maybe he's going off to a sword convention. Maybe he just picked it up from the sword sharpener. You don't know. You never know. Suppose I'm going to have a pole on one side. I'm going to need one on the other side. And all right, so I'm going to take these two layers here, and I'm going to locked pencil. What's locked? Oh, the sketch is locked. Unlock that sketch. And shift them up a little bit here on the page, like so. Maybe the orc will be saying, what's the orc be saying? And sometimes you get on the train and you're reading something, you find out someone's looking down and reading it with you. Say, don't turn the page yet. I ain't done. Alright, so let's turn off that sketch layer. Let's come in here and add a little bit of color. It's got a little more detailed than I had originally intended, but that happens sometimes. You're drawing something, you're having fun. You let it take as long as it needs to be. Alright. So let's come in here. And we'll throw some color down on our gnome. And on our orc, so a little color on the sword. And then the seats in the subway are often this strange orange color that you only ever see on subway seats. I don't know if you can hear that, but apparently someone thought it was a good idea to go out into my parking lot and rev their engine. You know what? No, because the size of the seats are. I don't know if they do this just so that it's clear to passengers when they're looking at a seat. They're often these strange colors. Put that on the pipes. This pipe 2. Color around the doors. The windows. Make no mistake. Funny guy, Mark. You're a funny guy. And I guess I'm going to come back to the top line here. Because behind there it's almost always windows. There we go. And stick a little stand on it. And we have a first drawing. Some adventurer on the subway. Pretty good. Not too bad. That was fun. Any of you out there do any drawings of adventurers on the subway? If so, you can send them to me, and I will show them to the world on our next adventure, our next episode. Anyway, there we go. That's one drawing. I started this episode saying I thought maybe I'd try and get an extra drawing in, but I put a little more work into that one, and so we may only get 2 drawings done this time. As long as we're having fun, that's okay. All right, so that was pretty good. Time for another randomization. So we're going to go back here. We're back at our tables. Let's see, I'm going to prep here so I that. I'm going to come back so I'm prepped for next time. And let's go to our dice. Here we go. Once again. Once, twice, third time's a charm. Once, twice, third time's a charm. And it's number 4 again. Is that 4 again? It's adventurers. All right, so I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go down. Since we already did adventurer, I'm going to pick something off the bonus board. And if you see something on the bonus board you like, feel free to put it in the chat, and I will take it into consideration. Right now we've got Batman, Rockstar, and Caveman, but it could be anything. If you have some idea of what kind of what kind of creature, person, character you'd like me to draw, put that in the chat, and I will certainly consider it. But the big question is, what? What is that person going to be doing? What is that character going to be doing? So let's come here and roll again. Once again, once, twice, and third time's a charm, and is number 1. And 1 is on a pogo stick. Someone on a pogo stick. Now, I suppose adventurer being a wide open category, if someone out there really wanted an adventurer on a pogo stick and wanted to suggest that, some kind of adventurer, a cleric, a wizard, a, a, a gnome ranger, a dwarf druid, I'd consider that. But you only have a couple of seconds here to figure it out, so put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to pick on my own. And you know I'll do it. Da 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 da. Here we go. You know what? I wish I should have a timer prepared for this. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm gonna go with Batman. Batman on a pogo stick. So let's go to round 2 sketches. We're gonna put in our blue sketch, and I'm going to turn off the tables, and we're going to start drawing here. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to turn on the layers. I opened them, but I didn't turn them on. Okay. I'm just going to start with a basic shape. Could be anyone, but it won't be. Here we go. This, you know what, this is going to be fun and easy, so this may help us catch up and still get an extra drawing in tonight. All right. Turn on our lights, and here we go. Oh. And we've got Batman. Oh, that's strange. My phone rang. My phone almost never rings. People don't call me. Certainly don't call me in the middle of a live stream. All right. Hmm. Not only do they call me, you know what? I have a pretty good idea that I know exactly who that is because I've been getting marketing calls the last few days, and they have generally been during lunch times. But I think that maybe what's happened is that marketing has switched to dinner times. Without knowing it, they have interrupted our fun time. We shall not have that. All right. Come here. Do Batman little eyes? No. We'll just keep them whited out or yellowed out. Think that I'm going to. Oh, I did it again. Did this last time too. I drew on the sketch layer and not on its separate lines layer, which means that those blue lines are now part of the drawing. Boo hoo hoo. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't rush when you're drawing. Uh, well, let's get rid of as many of them as we can, because I'm not going back and redrawing this. If this was a piece that I was doing for a client, I would have just gotten myself into a situation where I'd have to just undo everything I'd done and do it again. This comes up when I do longer drawing pieces on live stream. That'll come up occasionally where I make a mistake like that, and I always say that it's probably a good thing for everyone to see that no matter who you are, no matter how long you've been at this game, no matter how long you've been working as an artist, you can still make very basic mistakes if you don't pay attention to what's going on. You're never too experienced to make a mistake. And there's another thing, no matter what kind of beginner you are, you can look at it and realize that every mistake you made, I've made too. and I'm still making them every once in a while. All right, so what I wanted to do though is I wanted to move this up a little so that I could add, maybe not that quite that high, but I want to come back in here and add Batman style sound effects. Terrible W there. Pow, biff, boing. Hey, Dale. Got here just in time for me to make a couple of mistakes and keep going anyway. And to see Batman on a pogo stick. And I know that that's the kind of thing that you can appreciate. Got a lot of friends in this life, but I can't think of many who would appreciate Batman on a pogo stick more than you, Dale. Wait, no, the side of Batman's cape for some reason is yellow. I know that for a fact, and I don't know why. Now, if I had not made the mistake of drawing on the same layer as these blue lines, this would be fantastic. As it is, I think it's still pretty good. Now, of course, in on the TV show, the bat pogo stick would have some kind of bat emblems marking it. I'm glad that you took that in the spirit intended, Dale. All right, so just going to give him some. Some speed shakes there. And we have ourselves Batman on a pogo stick. If you had asked me what I was going to be drawing today when I got up this morning, Batman on a pogo stick would not have been in my first 10 answers. That's the beauty of the random dice. All right, so we've had Batman on the pogo stick. We'll come back for Dale because he didn't see what we were working on before this. Before that, we did Adventures on a Subway. Got a little gnome reading the Gnome Times and a orc who's reading over his shoulder or over the top. Apparently, the gnome can read upside. The orc can read upside down, so it can't be that dumb. All right, so that's done. Round 2 is done. I'm going to turn on round 3. And we're going to come back here when it said quarter 2. Great. We still have time to do one more. So I'm going to turn on the random encounters one more time. And we're going to go back to our dice rolling app one more time. And we're going to go once, twice, third time's a charm. And we're going to get a 1. What was 1 over here on the 1 is a dragon. Okay. That's different. We've got a dragon. What's the dragon going to be doing? That's the question. That's what everyone wants to know. We come back here one more time. Everyone ready? Here we go. Once, twice, third time's a charm, and it's number 6. Wow, I think I predicted this in my opening monologue, my opening statement. We have a dragon. Oh no, on the subway. All right, so on the subway, we've already done. So we got pro wrestling. On our bonus board, we got pro wrestling, camping out, and skateboarding. Or something that you find folks from the audience suggest. Does anyone have a preference as for what our dragon might be doing? Put it in the comments, and I will give it heavy consideration. Otherwise, I'm going to pick one off the bonus board, and I know which one I'm going to pick. Just fiddle around here. We've got a little lag because that's how this live stream and stuff works. So I know that because I said it, you guys, it's going to take a while for the sound to get to you, for you to think about it. I'm going to be drawing a dragon. Don't know what the dragon's going to be doing. Anyone have any suggestions? Dale says skateboarding. Got a skateboarding dragon? Well, Dale, since you are the only person who has given a voice to this, I will do a skateboarding dragon for you. Let's come back here, turn off the tables, come back to our sketch layer, see if this time I will remember not to do my final drawings on the sketch layer. All right, so move that around. Okay. pretty good idea of what that means here. Okay. All right. Let's come in here and we will switch to the lines layer. And we're going to start here with our dragon. We're going to come down here like this. Hanging those big old dragon claws off the end. This end also. I think I'm going to want to go back and redo that mouth a little. I was happy with it when I drew it, but as this is coming along, I'm not quite as satisfied. Hey, Angelito, how's it going? Let me turn this up. I'm gonna redo the mouth on that dragon. Am I on YouTube? I'm on YouTube uh, and Facebook and Twitch simultaneously. All right, come on. Now, there we go. That's better, I think. Now let's turn this sketch layer off. Come back and fill in a little more on the line work. Clean it up a little bit here. Maybe put some dragon scales on him. What do you think, Dale? How are things by you, Angelito? How's uh, Friday going in Japan so far? I know it's early in the day yet. All right, so done that. We're gonna go and put some colors in. Dale, you have any preference for what color dragon this is? You know, whenever I start drawing a dragon, I immediately think red, and that seems unnecessary. Pause. Take a little sip of my drink while you ponder that. Blue dragon it is. About that for a basic blue dragon color. We'll come to the colors layer. Make sure we're on that. It's a blue dragon. Maybe I should go back in and change that fire to lightning then. For those of you who are watching who are not long-time D&D aficionados, different colored dragons have different breath weapons. And in D&D, the blue dragon has an electrical breath weapon. Let's take a little extra time here. Add some shading just to make it a little Give it a little more depth. All right, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to our line layer. I'm going to get rid of that, even that second version of the fire, and we're going to come back and make it some electricity, some lightning bolts. Because that is what you get with a blue dragon. And then, yes, we can. There. What happens when I do the coloring, it feels good, and I realize in the end it's just too. I pick the colors out, and they work okay, but they're just a little too strong. If I just drop the opacity a little, they fade back, and the whole drawing feels a lot nicer. So here we go. We now have wrong pen. A dragon skateboarding. Own private session tonight. Well, you know, Dale, if you're the only one that speaks up, you you get you get what you want. You take advantage of it because you know this show is bound to become super popular, and then there'll be people in here shouting suggestions all over, and I won't even be able to remember that I know you. Not the least bit true, but you know what I mean. All right, so we have here a dragon skateboarding. We got a blue dragon skateboarding. That was our third drawing. Our second drawing was Batman on a pogo stick. And you know what? I'm going to come in here on the Batman drawing, and I'm going to do the same thing I did there. I'm going to drop the opacity just 10 or 15%, and it's going to look much better because of it. Got Batman on a pogo stick. And our first drawing of the night was some adventurers on the subway. You know what? Let's unlock here. And again, let's drop that opacity on the colors a bit. Whoa. Let's be normal, and yeah, something like that. That's a lot better. And we have 3 drawings. That's a pretty good grouping for a Thursday night. So I want to say thank you. Thank you very much, Dale and Mark and Angelito, all of whom showed up. I saw a couple of other people came and went in the viewership and didn't have anything to say. That's all right. You're more than welcome to hang out and just enjoy the sketch time. As I said at the beginning, I do hope that if you're going to plan to come here, that you'll bring some pen and paper of your own, and whether you use the prompts that I'm using to draw or you just draw some stuff that you're inspired to draw, that you'll come along and draw with me during these shows. And if you're proud of what you drew, take a picture of it, scan it, send it to me, and I will share it with the world in our next show. Other than that, though, I think that we have come to the end of another uh, Random Encounters Sketch Challenge. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you enjoyed this, please remember to click like, subscribe, all those things that everyone on every YouTube channel asks you to do. I'm going to ask you to do them too. If you're interested in more, you can find me on Facebook. And if you're very interested, you can find me on Patreon. My Patreon is. Come on. There we go. My Patreon is patreon.com/Stanix. So come on and join me if you're of a mind. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram at Stanex. That's Stanex is where you can find me in most social media. So thank you again. Thank you, Dale. Good seeing you, my friend. And I will catch you all next time, next Thursday, for another Random Encounters sketch challenge. Join me then, won't you?